Yes.
We are live.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight's meeting for Ordinance and Administration. Consistent with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. Persons who wish to do so are invited to view the meeting the information is available. And I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. And we'll start with Mayor Greg Verga, who would like to have a few words about appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to sort of talk in general about the list that's before you. We have several reappointments and a handful of new appointments. So I just want to say a big thank you to those people who are ending their terms on February 14th. We have a great group of people who are coming back to various boards and commissions, and some new people, some names you recognize from other places, but I'm looking forward to them stepping into these roles. And, oh, are we there? Am I still here?
Yes.
There's some crazy noises. These people stepped into their new roles and helping us out. As I said before, if all the volunteers in our city basically said, never mind, we would come to a screeching halt. So I thank them for stepping forward, and I hope the committee will support these appointments and recommend so to the full city council next week.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor Verga. I would like to recognize that we have Councilor O'Hara, Councilor Mojoita, Councilor Gross, Councilor Gilman, Councilor Grow, and also we have retired, who tells me his phone is quiet today, Councilor LeBlanc on the call tonight, and our clerk, Joanne Sinos. So we will move on to the first order of business. One thing I will say is we do have a situation with the boards and commissions that have been very different because of COVID. There is an attendance record that's capped for meetings, and we need to work on this a little bit more and figure out where we can go in the future to make it easier with things that are going on. So without further ado, I would move on to the first board person, and we'll bring in Mary John Boland. Mary, you with us tonight?
I don't see her name, but someone's on a phone call, but I'm not sure if it's her or not. Okay, but I do want to announce that's it. We have a full quorum of the city council.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that note. So we'll move on from Mary and bring it back, and then we'll go to the City Hall Restoration Commission with Janice Bell. Janice, are you with us tonight?
Yes.
Excellent.
Can you
How
hear
are you
me?
doing? We can.
Yeah. Good.
So if you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, we all know you. If you would like to have a few minutes, and then we'll move on.
Well, it's been a pleasure working on the City Hall Restoration Commission. And we're looking forward to doing the fire protection, the money that we've received from the state to go forward with that. We know that City Hall is an icon to the whole area. We can see it from everywhere, and we're so proud to have such a beautiful building. And you're going to love working there, Mayor Verga. And also, we're looking forward to having a better sound system at City Hall. Hoping we get that $80,000 for that. Yes.
And also a larger compliment for the money that's been appropriated to actually bring a lot of other things up to help that beautiful institutional building that we have. So do we have any questions or comments from the members? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara. You're muted, Jamie.
Janice, thank you for your energy and willingness to continue. We look forward to another term. And as you mentioned about the fire sprinkler system to be installed at City Hall, all city buildings, including our schools, should all have them for the protection of the employees, children, and the asset that our taxpayers pay for. We look forward to you and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Majota.
I just want to say thank you for your service, and I agree with Councilor O'Hara. Thank you.
Excellent. And
Great.
Janice, always a pleasure. Yourself and your family have done so much for the city, and I know that you won't let us down and to continue steadfast. Thank you very much. Have you been up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Excellent. So your reappointment, if you want to be on next week's meeting to have a few words, you can. If you're all right with doing your normal Tuesday night, that's not a
Yes.
problem.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Janice. Have a great night.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you.
So we have a motion. Councilor O'Hara, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommended that the City Council reappoint Janice Bell to the City Hall Restoration Committee, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
All right, and this will be by roll call. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. The yeses have it. 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, Janice, and keep up the good work. So next on the agenda, we have Rick Noonan from our planning board. Rick, how you doing tonight?
Mute.
There you are, Rick. How you doing tonight?
Doing good.
I don't want you to go on for hours about your accolades of all the great work you've done for the city of Gloucester. But if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what's going on, that'd be awesome.
All right. Thank you, sir. So Rick Noonan, Chair of the Planning Board, this is my 3rd term. And it's fun to follow Mrs. Bell because her husband was the first person to appoint me to the Planning Board back in the day. I think I got tricked a little bit. But happy to continue serving under Mayor Verga. He's a friend, a colleague, a customer, and looking forward to the next 2 years. Planning Board's got a very good crew right now. We've done a fair amount of heavy lifting in the last 3 or 4 years, and things that are before you at the moment. So we can't talk about that. But as I said, we're in business now. We had our 19th birthday at Cape Ann Coffees last night. So we're in our 20th season, if you can believe that. But otherwise, looking forward to the new council, the new mayor, and we're certainly going to miss Jill in community development. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Rick. I'll open it up for any questions or comments from councilors, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Rick, for your longevity on the planning board, and we wish you the best going forward.
Excellent. Councilor Majota.
Just want to thank you, Rick, and I look forward to getting to know you. Thank you.
And Rick, I look forward to my Sunday morning coffee more than a lot of things. But I can tell you that you've done a fantastic job. The planning board is it's stacked. It's stacked with a lot of good people. You guys make a lot of good decisions, and you work well with us. And I thank you for your continued work. So without any further ado, I would like to say that we've been joined by Councilor Jeff Worthley. And Councilor O'Hara, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommended the City Council reappoint Rick Noonan to the Planning Board, term ending February 14, 2027, and I so move.
Second.
And this is going to be by roll call. And we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. Rick, thank you very much. Have you been up to date with your ethics and have you been sworn in?
So no and no, but I've got 2 days off in a row, which we used to call weekends. And so we'll get that squared away by Friday.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your work. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you, Mayor.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes,
Mary John Boylan is now on the call if you want to go back and take her up.
of course we will. Mary, how you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see myself here. Hello. I'm sorry I'm a little late.
That's not a problem. You just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you doing on the Affordable Trust, and we can move on from there.
Okay. I'm an attorney. I recently retired from my job with the Commonwealth. I was working for the Department of Housing and Community Development, representing about 30 housing authorities in Essex County. I retired in September, and I still, I have a smaller practice now. But anyway, affordable housing is really near and dear to my heart because it's what I've been working on for 3 decades. And Gloucester, of course, as we know, has a real need for it. Was there anything in particular you wanted to know?
No. If there's any council questions, they'll ask you. I thank you for being here tonight, and I'll open up questions or comments, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Mary John, for your willingness to help the city. And again, as always, we wish you the best luck going forward.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. And Councilor Majota.
I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to getting to know you along with the other members. Thank you.
Very kind. Thank you very much.
And Mary, thank you for your work. It's an important committee, the Affordable Housing Trust, and it's going to be more important in the next few years to come with the situations in front of us. Have you been up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
Yes, I take the ethics test every year as an employee of the Commonwealth, and I did my last one, I think, just a few weeks ago. I have not been sworn in yet. I want to underscore that, yes, affordable housing is really important. I'm a little concerned about our committee, though. I mean, we don't really have a lot of money. So there's not, a ton we can do, once that runs out, for what it's worth.
Not a problem. I see Mayor Verga had a hand up, and he was eager to answer something.
Yes. Well, first of all, we're looking to build that board up. You have another new appointment tonight, and we have another one should be coming to you the next meeting. But we are looking to provide some funding. There was a commitment by the city to put money from the short-term rentals to the Affordable Housing Trust, which has never happened. We are committed to making that happen. Stay tuned. And we have some other ideas about making some opportunities for some city-owned parcels that could be converted to deed-restricted affordable housing. So we'll have more talk about that, Mary John, with your committee in the coming weeks.
Well, that sounds wonderful, Mayor Verga. Getting revenue from short-term rentals is a fantastic opportunity. Although I personally wish that people would dedicate their properties to long-term rentals, which I've done with my own rental property. I'm in East Gloucester, and for example, I could rent seasonally, but instead I have a year-round tenant. I think I pay more in heat than I get in rent. But but I love that we're doing that with the that you're going forward with the getting revenue from short-term rentals, because that'll give the Affordable Housing Trust a little something to work with.
Excellent. Mary, thank you very much for your hard work and dedication. And I'm sure you're going to find that the administration is amply looking forward to working with you.
Yes, I'm very excited about the new administration, and I wish the mayor and his team all the very best.
Excellent. Thank you. So with that, Councilor O'Hara, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommended the City Council reappoint Mary John Boylan to the Affordable Housing Trust term ending February 14, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Excellent. This will be by roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota?
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. Mary, thank you very much for all your dedication and hard work. Keep it up.
And I thank all of you. Thanks.
So next, we're going to move on to Captain Phil Cusmano. Phil, are you available? There you are, Captain Phil. Can you hear us, Phil? You're on mute. Captain Phil, can you hear us?
He has to unmute himself.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Not a problem, Phil. Great to have you tonight. If you just want to give us a little bit of your background and tell us about yourself, that'd be excellent.
Background. I've been on the Waterways Board for quite a while. I'm a licensed captain. I'm a delivery captain as well. Although I do have a full-time job as a captain on a boat that's now here in Gloucester. It was in Boston for some 17 years. But I'm a transient boater as well as being a delivery captain. So all of what I do as a captain is go from harbor to harbor. Now I've been in almost every harbor on the East Coast, from the top of Maine to almost the Gulf Coast. And so like I said, all I do is transient. And so what I want to say is that I'm extremely proud of how Gloucester's harbor has changed over the years and become a premier harbor. And it has really changed, and I'm extremely proud of how it's turned around and become a port of destination and a place to be, a place to visit.
Excellent. And it's been noticeable. Everything has been really good on the waterfront, and everybody's working
Sure has.
together. Have you been up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I've been sworn in, and I'm up to date on the ethics test. I've got my certificate, and I'm going to bring it down to City Hall tomorrow morning.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Captain. With that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommend the City Council reappoint Phil Cusmano to the Planning Board, term ending February 14,
Oh, Waterways
2020.
The Waterways Board.
Yeah, Waterways, stand corrected. Waterways Board, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
That would have been a big change for you, Phil. The
guess.
waterfront's really good. Planning Board's tough. So this is definitely going to be a roll call vote. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
And Councilor Nolan. That's a yes. It's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Captain, thank you very much for your continued work.
Thank you.
All right. So next, we're going to go back to the Affordable Housing Trust with another person that isn't a stranger to community involvement in the way she works, and that's Deanna Fay. Deanna, are you available?
I don't see her name on the attendee list.
I don't either, and I believe I don't have a problem with reappointing her. Oh, she's a new appointee.
She's a new appointment.
Yeah. We'll try her later on in the evening to find out, because I haven't heard from her, but I know she's going to be excellent. So we'll move on to I guess we'll go for our stranger, Joel Favaza, for the Capital Improvement Advisory Board. Joel, are you available tonight?
I don't see him on the list either.
Okay, and Joel is a new appointee, but he's been there before. Let's hold off and see to the end of the meeting if he's around as well.
Okay.
So we'll go back to the Capital Improvement Advisory Board and John McCarthy. John, are you available tonight? All right, I don't see John. I spoke with John.
I think he has his hand raised.
Oh, there he is. I see him.
Hear me now, Sean?
I can, brother.
Weird. I just don't know how to run the controls from this side.
Oh, it's too warm for you down there. You're used to cold fingers. John, how you doing tonight? And I know it's going to sound weird, but if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be awesome.
No worries. Doing great. I have a long history with the city. I was on the police department for nearly 40 years. I finished up in an administrative role as chief, managed a lot of large budgets and a lot of large improvements. I would like to see, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan for this city going forward. And that's one of the reasons I submitted a resume and a request to Mayor Verga to sit on this board. I think I'd be a good fit. I spent the last 2 years, as you know, on the city council and was on the budget and finance committee. And I look forward, pending your approval, to work with the new administration and the new council, and look forward to doing so.
Excellent. Thank you, John. We'll start with council comments and questions. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you. John, I'm honored to recommend you for this position, the capital improvement. More honored to have served you on the city council, and the city is so much better off having you involved with continued involvement with the city and the capital improvement. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Jamie.
Excellent. Council Majota.
Perfectly said by Councilor O'Hara, and I just want to thank you for your services in the police department for over 30 years. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Francesco.
And John, I'm excited for this. It's a board that really is important to us. The picks from the administration so far have been wonderful. And it's just really watching what happens. And with your experience in budgets and everything you've done over the years in the departments of working on budget and finance, it's probably a perfect fit for you. And I couldn't be more than happy and to have you here. And I feel weird, but are you up to date with your ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I am up to date with my ethics, and I've made arrangements with the clerk, Joanne, to get sworn in.
Excellent. John, thank you very much. And do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that the City Council appoint John McCarthy to Capital Improvement Advisory Board, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call vote. And we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Council Majota.
Yes.
Council Nolan, yes. John, it is a new appointment. If you want to say a few words at the next council meeting, that'd be excellent. If you just want to be there in case there's any questions, which I doubt there'll be any other than accolades for your service. We'll see you then.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. Good night, everybody. It's good to see you all.
You as well. I do see we have Joel Favaza on the line. Joel, how you doing? Joel, can you hear us?
Is he under a phone number or his name? 'Cause I'm-
He's under there with his hand raised.
Okay. Say. We have 38 attendees, someone,
Yeah, no.
here we go. All right, you should be all set.
How you doing tonight, Joel? If you just tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be excellent.
Sure. Thanks for having me. My apologies for missing the first call. My name is Joel Favaza. I live at 28 Middle Street. I was first appointed to the Capital Improvement Advisory Board under Mayor Kirk back in 2010. I was reappointed under the previous administration and served until I believe it was January of last year. My term expired, and at the time I was still in the school committee and had asked to not be renewed. Since then, I have come off the school committee and I have a little more room on my plate, and I'm happy to kind of pick this back up. I'm really excited to hear from Mayor Verga that this board is kind of being reconstituted and re-energized. I hope the council and the mayor's office will use it as a useful tool, which it can be. And I'm happy to, throw in my hand toward Pullman City in the right direction via some long-term planning.
Excellent. Thank you, Joel. Have you been up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I have not been sworn in. I had to check my ethics. I've been taking it, regularly for both this board and the school committee. I'm not sure when my expiration is, but I will coordinate that with the clerk's office to get sworn in.
Excellent. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah.
So Councilor O'Hara, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that the city council appoint Joel Favaza to the Capital Improvement Advisory Board, term ending February 14th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Excellent. And this will be by roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
and Councilor Nolan. Yes. Joel, thank you for everything. And I hope you have a great night.
Thanks so much.
All right, so next will be Robert Sherman for the Conservation Commission. Robert, are you available?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
How you doing tonight, Robert?
Very
If
well,
you-
thanks. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be excellent.
All right. I've lived here in Gloucester and on Cape Ann for about 25 years now, but I have a much older brother who lives in Magnolia, so I've been coming here since I was about 13 years old. I'm a graduate of UMass Amherst. I'm currently a park ranger for the Department of Conservation and Recreation. I previously served on the Conservation Commission. I believe I ended my term in 2016, but my work schedule now allows me to have more time to attend meetings. And I look forward to getting back and working with Rob Guller and Joanne and the other people that I worked with on Conservation Commission.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. And are you up to date with your ethics test, and have you been sworn in yet?
Up to date on the ethics. I have not been sworn in yet, but I could do that tomorrow.
Excellent. If you could make sure you take care of that before Tuesday, that'd be wonderful. We will open up for council questions or comments, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Robert, thank you for your interest in the Conservation Commission, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Councilor Majota.
Just want to wish Robert the best of luck, and I look forward to getting to know you.
Me too. Thank you.
Robert, obviously, I do know who you are and your past experiences. I know your family. I'm glad to have you back. I think it's going to be great. We have a lot of great opportunities coming up with the boards and commissions. As a new member, Tuesday night, if you could be at the city council in case there's any questions, or if you'd like to say anything, that'd be appreciative. And other than that, we'll go. We'll move on from there. And thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
So next we have Anthony Mrawowski. I hope I'm saying that right.
Sean, we want to run this through the vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. I'm just running ahead. Yep.
Ordinance Administration recommended that the City Council appoint Robert Sherman to the Conservation Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. We have it 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, Jamie. So next we'll have Anthony Mrawowski.
Good evening.
How you doing? I hope I said that right.
Yes, you did. You did a great job. Thank you, Sean.
Excellent. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and we'll move on with that.
Sure. My name's Anthony Mrawowski. I'm a commercial clammer. I've been a commercial clammer for 25 years, since I was in high school, digging clams with my dad. Right now, I'm a resident in Gloucester. I've been commercial clamming in Gloucester for about 10 years now. I was previously a resident of Ipswich, where I had a commercial license there. And I was also on the Shellfish Advisory Board in Ipswich as well. I look forward to, helping out the industry here in Gloucester, and doing whatever I can with the experience that I have had in the past to, to benefit for the commercial industry.
Excellent. That sounds great. Have you been sworn in and have you taken your ethics test?
I have taken the ethics test, but I have not been sworn in yet. I heard you say there's a due date for that. When is the?
You need to be sworn in before next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay, sure. That's not a problem. I can get in there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments from the members? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Anthony, for your willingness to take your expertise to the Shellfish Advisory Commission, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
I just wanted to say thank you, Anthony, and living in this area, I mean, who does not love clams? So thank you for that.
Anthony, thank you for stepping up. It's a great committee. I'm glad to have you experience from Ipswich. I think you're going to find it much better in Gloucester than Ipswich.
Yes.
And you'll enjoy that. So with that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that City Council appoint Anthony Mrawowski to the Shellfish Advisory Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
My second.
All right, and this will be by roll call, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Anthony, we'll see you on Tuesday night. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
So next, we're going to move on to the Waterways Board with Donna Crocker. How you doing tonight, Donna?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
We're doing.
Looks like you're in for a long night.
It's all right. That's people want us to do the right thing. If you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know you, and we can move on from there.
Right, I'm Donna Crocker. I live over on the Mill River on Kirk Road, formerly on the Annisquam River, the busy side. I've been in Gloucester for over 35 years and boating that entire time. So I really wanted, I used to attend the Waterways Committee meetings as the Commodore of the Whalers Point Yacht Club, or I like to call it the Neighborhood Association here on Whalers Point. But really want to, help to make what Phil said is, we're becoming a world-class destination for boaters, but also make it a very safe place for boaters. So that is my interest on the Waterways Committee, and I look forward to serving.
Excellent. Have you done your ethics test and have you been sworn in?
I have done my ethics test and I have not been sworn in, but I'll get it done this week.
Excellent. Thank you for your time. I'll open it up for councilor questions or comments, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Donna, for your willingness to help the city on the Waterways Board, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
I just wanted to say thank you, Donna, and like Councilor O'Hara, thank you very much.
Donna, I excited. It's a great board. I think that you're going to enjoy it. And the Whalers Point people, they have a lot of frontage in the water, so you'll
Yeah.
be good for that, and that's excellent. With that, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that City Council appoint Donna Crocker to the Waterways Board, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes. Donna, we'll see you on Tuesday night. Thank you very much, and have a great night.
Thanks. Good luck tonight.
So next, we'll move on to Bob Alves for the Waterways Board. Bob, are you available?
Good evening.
How you doing tonight, Bob? If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm dating myself, but I'm in my mid-60s, but I've had a boat on the harbor, Gloucester Harbor, since 1970. I've had a number of boats. In the past, when I was young, I was dock boy at Bigfoot's Marina and Beacon Marine and Brown's Yacht Yard. A number of years ago, I became actively involved with our waterfront. I worked hard and with Jim Coquette and the Waterways Board and Tony Gross in regards to, my phone's ringing. In regards to bringing a launch to the harbor front, as well as additional transient moorings and also additional resident moorings off of Southeast Harbor.
Excellent. Have you been sworn in, and have you taken the ethics test?
Yes to both.
Beautiful. So is there any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for taking your expertise and longevity to the waterways, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
I thank you all, and I especially thank Greg and look forward to a great 2022.
Excellent. Councilor Majota.
I just wanted to say thank you, and definitely with 30 plus years of experience in the water, I look forward to having you on the Waterways Board.
And Bob, the shuttle has really been an awesome service for the Waterways Board. And thank you for your service, and we'll see you on Tuesday night. And do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommended that the City Council appoint Bob Alves to the Waterways Board, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes, it's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you kindly.
So next we have the retired Steve LeBlanc. Steve LeBlanc, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me?
I can. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And
I sure will. It's awfully strange sitting on this side of the call, but I'm looking forward. First of all, I would like to show my gratitude and thanks to Mayor Berger for this opportunity to serve on the Waterways Board under his administration. I've been on the Waterways as a council liaison, city council liaison for the past 7+ years. My experience on the water is I have a boat. I am scuba certified. I grew up on a family fishing vessels, the Nyanza and the North Star, both Eastern rig trawlers, draggers. I've worked on several lobster boats over many years. I have held commercial fishing licenses, commercial clamming licenses, actually recreational lobster licenses, recreational fishing licenses. I know the water sheet. I know the tidal flats. I don't think there's been any spot on this water sheet that I haven't been on. I've owned a jet ski growing up, so I got to get in the nooks and crannies. So I'm well aware what goes on. I've worked with the harbor master and harbor master's office and the past Waterways Board, like I said, over the past several years. So I'm very familiar with the goings on with this board. And I'm looking forward to continue my serving the city that I love.
Well, that sounds awesome. Is there any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for using your expertise, continuing to help the city as you did as a city councilor on the Waterways Board, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Excellent. Councilor Majota.
I meant so many questions. I need to make sure his qualifications are there. I don't know where. But I just wanted to say thank you, Stephen, for years of service as a counselor. And I obviously look forward to talking to you. And that's it. Thank you.
Anytime, Frank, you know that.
Thank you.
Steve, anytime you're involved with something, it's for the better. And this is a great committee. You've been with it through a lot of the groundbreaking situations that have happened to make things much better for the city. It'll be nice to have you as actually a voting voice on the committee and not just a liaison. And I hate to say it, but you're a new appointee. We'll see you on Tuesday if the vote goes well. And at that point, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration's Committee recommended to appoint Stephen LeBlanc to the Waterways Board, term ending February 14, 2023, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Absolutely.
Councilor Nolan. Absolutely, Steve. Couldn't be more happy for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Councilors, thank you. Mayor Verger, I appreciate the opportunity to serve, and I will see you. I'm ethics and sworn in. I'm all set on that. So I will see you Tuesday evening. And I'm gonna stick around because I want to talk about. I have an order later on in the meeting, and I just want to have a quick discussion on it before it gets continued. So I'm going to hang around for a little while. Thank you, guys.
Not a problem at all. Thank you. So next, we're going to go on to the Zoning Board of Appeals for Leonard Gyllenhaal.
Can you hear me?
I can. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. I wasn't sure. It was awful quiet at this end. But at any rate, I have served on this committee before, on this board. At least two of the members I served with are still there, and I know the others. I was appointed by Mayor Kirk, I think in 2009. Was not reappointed by the previous mayor after, I think, 2 terms. When we were there, we had some really great people. We had Jim Mavali and Mrs. Bergman and David Gardner, who's still around. The other 2 have gone to a better place, although there's not many places better than Gloucester. The house that I live in at 32 Rockport Road belonged to my wife's family. I think they bought it in the early 1950s. Her grandfather or great-grandfather owned the Pavilion, which was a hotel. There was a railroad that came up the road, a trolley. It's now the Cape Ann Motor Inn. I got dragged in when I met my wife and asked her to marry me. And we purchased this home in 1978 as a summer residence. We lived in Philadelphia, near Philadelphia. I retired about 14 years ago due to a little battle with cancer, which I beat, but I decided I didn't want to go back to work. I just wanted to walk along the beach. So I'm glad to be able to go back on the board. There's some challenges. I was reading in the Gloucester Times this morning, Rockport is looking at their affordable housing issues, and they're proposing that there's a new term they use that I thought was attractive. They're going to open up an area, I guess, around where the Cracker Jacks is, over by the Ace Hardware store, for development. And some of the conditions that they're going to have are they want uniform roof lines and New England neighborhood facades. You know, we're getting a lot of development in this town. It's big, and I think we're losing a little bit of our neighborhood facade. So I'd like to see that come back, and I'd be happy to help people come to that same conclusion when they come before the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Excellent. Thank you, Leonard. Have you been sworn in and are you up to date with the ethics test?
Well, I didn't know if I was going to be voted in, so I didn't get sworn in. And I haven't taken the ethics test since I left the zoning board in 2017. So now this meeting with the, is Tuesday a week. It's not tomorrow, correct?
That's correct. It's the following Tuesday, so it's a week from
So
tomorrow. So
I'll get down there and get sworn in and take that test. It's online, I believe, as I
that's
recall.
correct.
I took it a few times. I passed it. And not a whole lot has changed. I've just gotten older. My wife wanted me to mention to everybody that her family is 6 generations in Gloucester for our children. They mostly were summer residents, but we're full-time now and have been for a decade. I look forward to this appointment. Excited.
Excellent. Thank you, Leonard. Is there any questions?
This is going to be as an alternate, which is good. But I just want to see the lay of the land and listen for a few meetings.
Not a problem. Do we have any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Leonard, for your willingness and your extended expertise to help our city. And we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Just want to say thank you, and I love how passionate you are about the city, and 6 generations is quite a bit. So thank you.
I did have a boat at one time, but I mostly sat behind a desk.
Leonard, thank you. I admire and dream of the day where I can walk up and down the beach full time.
It never gets old.
It
gets cold, but not old.
With that, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended the City Council appoint Leonard Lyon Hall to the Zoning Board of Appeals term ending February 14, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be a roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. Len, thank you very much, and we'll see you next Tuesday. And have a great night. Thank you. So next on the list, we have for the Zoning Board of Appeals, Rob Russell. Rob, are you available tonight? I see a hand raised on a phone number that might be Rob.
He has to unmute himself.
Rob, can you hear us? Rob, you there? Rob, can you hear us?
That is his number, by the way, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I believe he's probably having a technical difficulty. We'll circle back to Rob. We'll go to some reappointments, and we'll start with Leslie Nicholson.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Leslie, how you doing?
Hi.
So do you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks. Just out of curiosity, I can see you. Can you see me?
We can see a picture of you, yes.
Okay, okay. So my story is that I've been serving on the Dogtown Commission for a couple of years, but as you may know, we just got rolling about 6 or 7 months ago because we weren't able to start meeting on Zoom right away. And that commission feels like it's off to a really good start. I volunteered to participate in it because I'm one of the many people in Gloucester who really love Dogtown. I've probably crisscrossed Dogtown on all of the trails over the last 12 years that I've lived in Gloucester. So 12 years makes me a very recent arrival. And the fact that I arrived here from the Canadian prairies makes me something of a freak. But I love this place very much, and I'm committed to making this kind of wild heart of the Cape a resource that everyone in the community and visitors alike can really enjoy. We're so well known for our coastline, and I came here too for the coastline, but discovering the huge woods at the center of this heart has been just a wonderful discovery, and it's something that I hope everybody in Gloucester can enjoy and come to appreciate. I have the pleasure of serving on the commission with some terrific people. As I said, I feel like we've gotten a very solid start in the last few months, and I'd really love to stay on and bring some of the initial plans to fruition. We've got some real work to do, and I'd love to be part of that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Have you been up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I'm up to date on ethics. I have not yet been sworn in, but I'll get to it.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll start with the questions or comments from the committee. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Leslie. We appreciate your interest and willingness to help Dogtown. It's a beautiful area, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Councilor
Thank you.
Just want to say thank you for everything you do for the Dogtown area. It's a beautiful area, and I look forward to walking around there and doing everything that I normally do up there.
Excellent. Leslie, thank you very much for stepping up and continuing to support this. It's a very important committee to the city, and I see a lot of bright things in the future, and I think it's going to be great. So with that, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that the City Council appoint Leslie Nicholson to the Dogtown Preservation Commission, term ending February 14th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes. So it's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Leslie, your reappointment, not necessary that you have to come to Tuesday night's meeting. If you'd still like to come and have a few words, that's also fine with us. But thank you again for all your hard work.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Excellent. And I still don't see Rob Russell on the call. Unless we can connect with him, I don't see him yet. So I think we'll move on to Captain Salvatore Novello. Captain Novello, are you available?
I don't see him on the call unless he's calling from a phone number.
All right, Captain Novello is a well-known reappointment. I haven't heard from him for a while. Mayor Verga, have you heard from him?
No, I have not.
All right, so we'll put this one off till the end of the meeting or until next round. We'll move on to the Historic District Commission with Arlie Pett. Arlie, are you available tonight?
Yes, I am.
How you doing, Arlie?
Okay.
You certainly don't have to tell me anything about yourself. You're pretty well known and you're an excellent dude. But if you just give us a brief description of yourself and how you want to work with the Historical District Commission, that'd be excellent.
Okay, I've been on and off the Historic District Commission since its inception. many years ago. For a number of years, I was the chairman and vice chairman because we used to alternate it. Currently, I'm the vice chairman of the commission. I'm one of the two appointees of, that's a property owner within the district, and we established that so that the, residences and property owners have a say in how the historic district is managed.
Excellent. And have you been up to date with your ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I haven't been sworn in. I believe I'm up to date with my ethics, but I'll check that. I'll get sworn in after this meeting.
Excellent.
this
Thank
week.
you, Harley. Do we have any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Arlie. You've done so much for the city, and we appreciate your continued interest in helping us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Majota.
Just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for the city, and I look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you.
Arlie, thank you for everything, from working with the voting in the clerk's office to working with the veterans and to working with the historical committee. You're an excellent candidate, and the city really appreciates you. So with that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration recommend the City Council reappoint Arlie Pett to the Historic District Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Okay.
And this would be a roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Arlie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next on the agenda, we have for the Historical Commission again, Suzanne Morale. I hope I'm
Yes.
saying that right.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can. How you doing tonight? If you just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Doing well, thank you. I've been serving with the Gloucester Historical Commission since August 2019 as an alternate, going to all the meetings. I have a particular interest in history, and I live at the Rockaway Hotel, former Rockaway Hotel, out in Rocky Neck, built in 1896, converted to condos in 85, and have done extensive research on this hotel and the other 11 grand hotels in East Gloucester. So I'm anxious to share what I've learned with the commission once we resume meetings. We haven't met since COVID came upon us. And I'd like to use that information in some way at the 400th. I am also a PowerPoint and graphic designer, and so I have a 400 slide set of this research that I've also gone to the archives quite a bit and used all the photographs from the museum. So using the historic photographs and all the information that I have, I would like to use that in some way with the commission or with the 400th commission. But I look forward to resuming our meetings and to resuming some of the other projects that we had and have been on hold. That's my story.
Excellent. Thank you, Susan. Are you up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I'm up to date. I need to swear in. I plan to do that this week.
Excellent. Thank you. With that, is there any questions or comments from the council? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your continued efforts, and we appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
I just want to say thank you, Susan, for everything you have done. And who doesn't love history? I always say.
Right, especially here.
Exactly.
Susan, thank you for everything, your hard work and continued support. I'd love to see those photos. I can't get enough of them. We see them on Facebook. or from the Cape Ann Museum. It's just nice seeing old photos of our history. With that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended that the City Council reappoint Suzanne Morale to the Historical Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And that's by roll call, and I'll start with Council O'Hara.
Yes.
Council Majota.
Yes.
Council Nolan, yes. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Susan, thank you very much for your continued support. Next, we'll go to the Human Rights Commission with Tony Borge. Tony, are you available? Can you hear us, Tony? You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you.
If you just want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself and how things are going on the committee, that'd be excellent.
Sure. Born and raised in Gloucester, went to St. Anne's and Gloucester High. I'm a third generation Gloucester. My father's family lived on Portuguese Hill off Mount Vernon, and my mother's family, the Tarboxes, lived in East Gloucester, Hart Street. I'm in my parents' house on Wheeler's Point, bought in 1959. We were one of the few families that lived all year round here. It was much different here now. I'm very, very proud and pleased that I am from Gloucester, born in Gloucester. After I graduated, I went into the Peace Corps and lived in and worked in Peace Corps in Washington and lived in Africa. And then when I came back, I always knew I would come back to Gloucester. I spent 25 years as the adult education director for Bunker Hill Community College in Chelsea. And at that program, I ran for immigrants to learn English, to get their high school diploma, and to go transition on to college. So I'm very, it was kind of like nice being back among where people, I grew up, because everybody here growing up was, speaking Italian and Portuguese. So I was very able to comfort people when they're concerned about their accent. I always told them, wherever I lived, everybody said I had a Gloucester accent. I said, yes, I do. I have an undergraduate degree in fisheries biology, and I have a master's degree in education. I was very pleased to be appointed by the previous mayor on the reconstituted Human Rights Commission, which had been in the 1990s was when it was in existence. And so this past year, we've been working on, establishing ourselves as a committee, working with different groups. We've had the police chief on, people from the Cape Ann Museum. We want to be talking with the superintendent, just to get an understanding and feel about what's going on there and what we can do as a commission. And was very grateful to the city council, because we had been asked about, to expand the commission to include more diversity, and the city council was very supportive and increased our membership from 7 to 10. We still have one more seat to fill. So we're hoping that, we can get more people to apply. One of the issues that we are concerned with is that there's the Disabilities Commission, and that has yet to be able to get started, because although I know the city and we ourselves have, gotten into the Gloucester Times to look to people to recruit, one person had been appointed. And so that has been, not being able to function. And the Disabilities Commission is like a subset, even though it's an independent commission of the Human Rights Commission. So we can't officially kind of start, working with the disabilities community. So I don't know at some point whether we can have a discussion about what we on the Human Rights Commission can do to ensure that we're supporting our, community here, instead of waiting for it to, be able to get enough members so it can be a fully formed run commission. I've so enjoyed being part of the commission. It's wonderful. And I am very, very grateful and appreciative to Mayor Verga for reappointing me. And all the support that we've gotten from the city council. It's been very, we really, really appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. I'd like to announce that our CAO, Jill Cahill, is also on the call now. Tony, the Disability Commission, Mayor Verga is working on that. We're trying to find, capable volunteers, and it will be another committee that is important to us. So at that point, I'd like to open up for questions from the committee, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Tony, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Just want to say thank you, Tony, and definitely have my support. Definitely see how passionate you are about the commission and everything.
And Tony, thank you. It's been a great committee. It's come a long way. It's going to continue to grow with strength, and things should be good. So with that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommend that the City Council reappoint Tony Borch to the Human Rights Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Tony, thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome. I have taken the conflict of interest training and submitted that. So this week I'll come in and get sworn in. So I'll see you all next week.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem. So next we have Human Rights Commission again, and we have Sarah Mitchell Peck. Sarah, are you available?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can. How are you doing tonight?
Great to be here.
If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how the committee's going.
Sure. A little bit about myself. I have worked as a writer for the last 15 years for various international and human rights organizations. I currently work for an international sexual and reproductive health organization that works kind of across the world on these critical issues. I spent 6 years managing a human rights research program at Harvard University. And I started my career working as a journalist in West Africa. I have my master's degree in journalism and have kind of worked on human rights issues and international aid issues for the last 15 years. It was really exciting to be appointed to this kind of newly established Human Rights Commission 2 years ago. I would like to say one of the things that kind of got dropped at the onset of the creation of this commission was a real ability to implement our mandate. I would love to revisit that. I think so. Right now, there's no official way to intake complaints or, community concerns. There's a single email, and I think that that's a huge flaw in the Human Rights Commission system. I think that I'd love to revisit it with this city council and this administration because it's a norm among pretty much every other Human Rights Commission out there. And I think that it would give our commission a lot more ability to move forward with the mandate. I also would love to see us coordinate more with the administration on like key rights dates like International Women's Day, which is March 8th, or International Human Rights Day, which I think December 10th. So I think there are a lot of more opportunities for collaboration moving forward.
Excellent, Sarah. Thank you. Are you up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I am up to date, and I'll get sworn in this week.
Perfect. At this point, I'd like to ask if there's any questions from the committee, and I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, sir. You certainly have extended resume on human rights issues, and we welcome you and look forward to your reappointment.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Just want to say thank you, Sarah, and Mr. Councilor Harris said it exactly. You definitely have the experience and the knowledge about this topic. So thank you.
Excellent. And I think we had said last time, Sarah, around that you definitely have a lot to bring to the table. Email addresses are definitely administrative, and I think that, you know, possibly this administration will work a little bit more to get some sort of email address that people can use for the committees. I know there's complications with it and stuff, but it's definitely worth looking into. And I want to thank you for everything you've done, and I look forward to you continue to do that. With that being said, do we have a motion?
Sir, Ordinance Administration Committee recommend the City Council reappoint Sarah Mitchell Peck to the Human Rights Commission term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call. We'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes, it's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Sarah, thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a good evening. Look forward to working with you all.
You as well.
Rob Russell is back on the call for the Zoning Board of Appeals. If you want to take him next.
Yep, that'd be excellent. I saw his hand up. That'd be perfect. We can get him in.
Okay.
Rob,
Yes.
can you hear?
Yes, to unmute.
Rob, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Is that good?
Excellent. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Great. It's Rob Russell from 40 Rockport Road, and I'm a graduate of Boston College, Framingham State. I was a teacher, an administrator in education, and I've been in the last 15 years of my life in real estate, and I'm well versed in the zoning book. I've done a lot of work with 40Bs in communities, and I look forward to joining the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate, and my longtime neighbor had some very good words about joining and learning about the board. So that's what I'm excited about. And some of you have seen me before and some of you haven't, but I have enthusiasm to serve our new mayor and this administration and move Gloucester forward. So thank you.
Excellent, Rob. Thank you. Have you been sworn in? Have you taken your ethics test?
No and no, but I will do it by the end of the week.
Excellent. Is there any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Rob, thank you for your interest in continuing to help the city, and we look forward to your appointment, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you, Counselor.
Councilor Majota.
Just want to say thank you for everything you do. Best of luck, and I look forward to getting to know you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate everybody.
Rob, thank you for jumping in. There's a lot to do. The Zoning Board of Appeals is very important as a new member, even as an alternate. Just keep in mind that when people are before you, they're looking for relief, and sometimes they're scared and not 100% on what's going on. So it's important for your board to be able to relay to them the information that you're looking for to help them along with their projects. It's just following the rule and helping people through it. And that's just the way it goes. With that, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended the City Council appoint Rob Russell to the Zoning Board of Appeals term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
Thank you very much. With gratitude.
And this will be by roll call. Councilor O'Hara?
Yes.
Councilor Majota?
Yes.
Councilor Nolan? Yes. Rob, this is a new appointment, so you'll have to be there on Tuesday. You don't have to speak. Though you want to, you're more than welcome to.
All right, thank you, and I with deep gratitude and appreciation. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. So next on the list, one of my favorite committees, the Traffic Commission, and one of my favorite people, Anthony Bertolino. Anthony, how you doing tonight?
Fine, thank you.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, for the last 82 years, I've been a resident of Gloucester on and off. And I've been employed in Gloucester somewhere between 45 and 50, last 50 years as an attorney. I'm semi-retired at the present time, and I've been a member of the Traffic Commission somewhere between 40 and 45 years, if not a couple of years more. I really think that sums it up. I've been around a long time, and I've got to meet most of you along the way.
Excellent, thank you, Anthony. Are you up to date with the ethics test, and have you been sworn in?
I have not been sworn in, but I did take the ethics test.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have any councilor questions or comments? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you, Anthony. You've done so much for the city and we wish you well going forward.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Mr. Bertolino, just want to say thank you for your years of service. And I look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you, sir.
Anthony, I've told a lot of people it's my favorite board to meet with you guys when we do meet. It's a lot of fun, a lot of knowledge, and we certainly don't take that for granted. And I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And with that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommended a city council appointing Anthony Bertolino to the Traffic Commission, term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this would be a roll call vote, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
And absolutely for Councilor Nolan. Anthony, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you.
And next, we're going to move on to another great member of the Traffic Commission, and that's Michael Mulcahy. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. How was your birthday?
That was good. Nice and
Good.
quiet.
So if you just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a lifelong resident of Gloucester. I was 10 years in the Navy. I currently work at XP Power just up the street from Councilor Nolan. Let's see, I'm a warden for Ward 11. I've been doing elections now for the last 6 years. I've been on the Traffic Commission. I think I was appointed by Bruce Toby way back when. I've been on ever since. I think I'm the third longest tenured guy on the commission. I haven't been on as long as Tony and Bob, but I've been on for quite a while. So I enjoy doing it. Just trying to just help, solve the problems of the city as far as traffic goes, because it's, as everybody knows, it's not the easiest thing in the world with our streets. So.
Excellent, Mike. Have you been sworn in and have you been up to date with the ethics test?
My ethics is up to date. I have not been sworn in yet, but I can probably do that this week.
Excellent. If you could, that'd be wonderful. Is there any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Mike, thank you. Most importantly, thank you for your 10 years of service to our country. And thank you for your work on the Traffic Commission. We wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Councilor Majota.
Thank you for your years of service for our country and the city, and look forward to getting to know you.
Well, I am one of your constituents in Ward 3, so
that's great.
Looking forward to talking to you sometime.
Looking forward to getting to know you more then.
Mike, thank you. I've known you for a long time, and you've definitely done a great service to the country, and the debt of what you guys do in the Traffic Commission is second to none.
You guys don't make it easy on us, so.
No, we got to be working a little bit tonight,
Yeah.
We work in front of you.
I
So
know.
with that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommend the City Council reappoint Michael Mulcahy to the Traffic Commission term ending February 14, 2025, and I so move.
This will be by roll call, and we'll start with Council O'Hara,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Nolan. Yes. Mike, thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hope to serve you guys well in the future.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, so on the Traffic Commission, Bob Ryan. How you doing tonight, Bob?
I'm doing fine, Chairman Nolan. Good evening. Good evening, Councilor O'Hara, Councilor Frank Magota, Ms. Cahill, Clerk Casinos, and Mayor Verga. My name is Bob Ryan, Gloucester native and resident. My grandfather was Captain John Goulart, who captained the Laura Goulart, and his brother Emmanuel have the Evelina Goulart, which was one of the only, I think, one of 6 schooners left on the wooden schooners in the country over in Essex. Still holds a record for 64,000 pounds of swordfish in one trip. That's when they harpooned them, 32 tons of swordfish. Okay, that was off the record. Okay, I have volunteered for this great city for over 40 years. My journey began, and I hope Ali Pett is still listening, and Suzanne. My first assignment was the Historic Commission. And back then I was assigned, I came out of college with a bachelor's degree in political science, and Mayor Leo Elper put me on the Historic Commission because of political science. It wasn't a month on the commission that we had to take the mayor on. He proposed, we had a city annex over at the Fobbs School, for those who can remember where Fobbs School is, on the corner of Washington Street. Frank, you would appreciate this, in Gould Court. And they converted that to the building inspector's office, city engineers who were working out of that building. The mayor wanted a parking lot to expand, so he proposed ripping down the GAR building right there on the corner of Gould Court and Washington. The GAR building was built in 1857 and was for the Grand Army of the Republic, one of the notable historic sites in the city of Gloucester. Needless to say, Peter Anastas and Joe Gibson and myself, we won the battle. That building is there today. It's been used for city services over the years. And today Action runs its weather program, energy program out of that building. The city annex came and went. So had we went ahead and tore that down and paved it, it would have been a parking lot today. But yet we still have this historic site. Going back, again, in the early 90s, I served on the Historic Committee. Early 90s, Mayor Bruce Toby appointed me to the Traffic Commission. I have been dealing with traffic and transportation almost my entire life. I have a master's degree in public administration, and currently we have a great mix on the Traffic Commission. We have Anthony Bertolino, who you spoke to tonight, Mike Mulcahy, Lieutenant Mike Williams from the Gloucester Police Department, Mike Mitchell from the Gloucester Fire Department, and Drew White from the DPW. Just a good combination, a good mix with all of them. I am looking forward to working with Mayor Verga and the new council and to continue to make this city great. Thank you.
Excellent, Bob. Thank you. Have you been sworn in? Have you taken up to date with the ethics test?
I am up to date on the ethics test. I took it about 30 or 60 days ago, and I will be sworn in this week.
Excellent. Thank you very much. At this point, is there any questions or comments from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
Thank you. Bob, your wealth of knowledge on the city is obviously amazing. You do so much for our city and have done so much for our city. I know each and every city council reaches out, as I did this morning, to talk to you about traffic issues, and you're just an amazing gentleman, and we truly appreciate your service to our city, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thank you, Councilor.
Councilor Majota.
I just want to say thank you for your many years of service. I look forward to talking to you and getting to know more about the everything Gloucester, the traffic and everything. So thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, Counselor.
Bob, I want to say that, with working as a ward counselor, working with different committees and stuff, when something's in front of traffic or you go to traffic for an opinion, it's well debated and generally a right decision for the city. If we have an issue with a study for speed or the amount of vehicles driving something, your response time is almost immediate and your information is spot on. I really can't say enough about how you run the committee and how the committee works. And I want to thank you again for everything, because you've been an asset to me for things in my ward.
Thank you.
With that being said, do we have a motion?
Ordinance Administration Committee recommend the City Council reappoint Robert B. Ryan to the Traffic Commission, term ending February 14th, 2025, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call, and we'll start with Council O'Hara.
Yes.
Council Majota.
Yes.
Council Nolan, absolutely yes. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Bob, thank you for everything. You run a great committee. You have a lot of great guys working for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so next.
Sean.
Yes.
Mayor Berger has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you, Greg. How you doing?
Oh, great, thank you. I just want to say thank you for voting positively for all these appointments and reappointments. And just a reminder that there are a lot of vacancies that we're still trying to get to. We'll have a full list for the council so you guys know, so you can share it with your constituents. We're finding a lot of conflicting information on file in several different spots. We're trying to consolidate it into one spot. Joanne's been doing a great job working with my office, so stay tuned. There'll be more. It's as I said before, without the volunteers of the city, we'd be at a standstill, but we need more. So be ready for this list. I'm going to sign off, and Jill will be available if there are any questions for the administration.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor Verga. Joanne, I'd like to take a 3-minute recess.
Sure.
Is that all right with the rest of the committee? Council O'Hara?
Yes.
Council Majota?
Yes.
That's fine.
Excellent. We'll see you in a few seconds. Beautiful. Everybody ready? All right, Joanne, you're on mute.
All right.
I'd like to,
Is Jamie available? He's not, I don't see him on.
all right. I'd like to take something out of order and move on to a referral for from counselor, retired counselor LeBlanc on repairs and issues to city roads that is going to be continued. Steve's asked to give a brief summary on this before we continue it. Steve, are you available? Can you hear us, Steve? You're on mute.
There we go. Can you hear me?
We can. How you doing tonight?
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you bumping this up for me. I just want to give a brief overview of my order. I've been talking to DPW Director Mike Hale before I left the council, and we decided that this was a good time to change this ordinance. So with this ordinance, that is the opening of roads, which means that anytime a utility company wants to, or anybody for that matter, wants to dig the road up, there's a very gray area on the life expectancy of their hole that they dug. So what's happened over the years is throughout the city is that people have dug the road up, put in a utility line, a gas line, a water line, or whatnot, and have covered the road and patched it and walked away. With this ordinance change, it will allow the administration and the DPW to have some teeth and able to hold that contractor liable for X amount of years. So if Mike Hale wants to come back and say if it's 5 years that you're responsible for that whole 6 years, or the council that's gonna have to vote on it, then those people that are opening the roads, digging utility lines, water lines, gas lines, or whatnot, it'll be in their permit when they take the permit out to open the road. So they'll be liable, there'll be teeth that to hold these contractors accountable to take care of the patch that they've made. What's been happening is, like, I've talked to Mike, and he said there's really not much they can do, after so long. But if this ordinance change, it'll give them, like I said, a little bit more grasp on what the contractor is liable for to bring them back, to make sure our roads are paved correctly, because there's been many times where we've had a new road, contractor's gone in and dug it up, and then in a couple of years, that part of the road's failed, and we all hear about it as counselors, and it'll give the DPW some leeway or some authority to bring that contractor back to patch the road correctly over X amount of years. So that's basically what my order was. I know I've talked to Mike a few times, and I will reach out to him over the next couple of days to put a bug in his ear, and also our new CAO, Jill Cahill, to maybe work with him to get this up and running, to make sure that our roads are properly paved, properly maintained over the years. So that's my explanation of my order, and that's what I'd like to see moving forward. It's very gray.
Excellent, Steve. Thank you. And this is continued for 2 weeks, I believe, Joanne.
Yeah,
Yes,
14th.
it will be continued to February 14th.
All right.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate bumping up. I very patiently sat through an hour and a half, and I'm going to go sit my butt on the couch and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you,
Oh, you
counselors.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you. So next up, we have CC 2021-019, Council Memhard. Amend the GCO Chapter 22, Section 22-270, parking prohibited at all times, and section 22-291 tollway zones regarding Farrington Avenue, referred back to O&A from City Council on December 14th, 2021. Councilor Memhard, how you doing tonight? And the floor is yours.
Great to be with you all. Thank you. So this matter, which would restrict parking on the northerly side, which is Stewart Avenue to Edgemore, or the old St. Mel's side of Farrington Avenue, where people are currently parking, non-residents and residents are parking for access to Niles Beach. At the request of area residents on Farrington Avenue in the neighborhood, we would propose to eliminate that northerly side parking. And this was reviewed at the Traffic Commission. And thank you all for just reappointing several of those members. And then it was approved by the previous Ordinance and Administration Committee. But due to the amount of misinformation and confusion, people concerned that we were eliminating all parking on Farrington and resident access to Niles Beach, or what we call Mother's Beach in East Gloucester, I requested in respect to transparency in this decision that it be referred back to the new Ordinance and Administration Subcommittee so that we could vet it more fully and get community input in a proper way. Previously, the Traffic Commission minutes had not been available, and they have been released and they are available now. And so again, this is a request by neighbors in the area. This is an issue that's not new. Traffic Commission was extraordinarily familiar with it. It's gone back and forth. Former Ward Councilor Paul McGeary held community meetings about this in the process 7, 8 years ago, trying to resolve it. But this is what's on the table right now. This is what's requested. The primary rationale is to maintain safety. There are no sidewalks on Farrington Avenue, as you all know. People drive quite quickly, unfortunately. And the idea of maintaining no parking on that one side, keeping a clear view of traffic, has been supported by the neighborhood residents. There were several submissions in terms of letters and even a video that I shared with you all earlier today that was recorded last summer that shows just some of the complexities of when people are parking on both sides, and you have pedestrians carrying their beach chairs and children in hand, and then their bicyclists and joggers and all the rest of it. So this is out of an abundance of caution for safety and trying to maintain order. You all may also know that Niles Beach is not owned by the city, it's leased, and a major portion of Niles Beach is also privately owned. So that there was some concern, as was implemented during the COVID year 2000, to limit access just so it's not overcrowded. But we look forward to your discussion. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Memhard. Joanne, can we put up the photo of Farrington Avenue in the section that we're talking about?
Do you see my screen, my desktop?
All we can see is like the Google.
No, that's not it. It's okay. Hold on a minute. Why is okay? So this is what I want to do. Farrington Avenue. Here we go. So I want to share the screen.
Somebody's got a really cool sounding clock.
It's our old school clock here on the wall.
I like it.
Has to be wound every 2 days. Came from my father-in-law's house on Rocky Neck, Howard Oaks.
It sounds intriguing. I'd like to see a picture of it someday.
There you go.
Well, that's beautiful. I love it.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
So Scott, if you could explain for the people watching tonight, where Stewart Ave is.
How do I get this thing down here? What?
So as we look at this geo map of East Gloucester here, Niles Beach is on the left-hand side of the screen. And Eastern Point Boulevard comes along there, and then it has the intersection with Eastern Point Boulevard and then Farrington Avenue. Stewart Avenue is the first road off to the left that goes up northerly. The building that's shown in the middle of the screen was the old St. Mel's School off Edgemore and Farrington. So the area that we're talking about here is on the northerly side between Stewart Avenue and Edgemore Road. And it comprises, I think it's all of about, it could be 7 or 8, maybe 9 potential parking places, depending on how people park. And as you know, there are, again, no sidewalks currently on either side. The resident parking would be maintained on the southerly or Eastern Point side of the road as it is currently, but parking on the northerly side between Stewart Avenue and Edgemore Road would be eliminated and it would become a tollway zone.
All right, so when I've been out there and I've looked at it quite a bit, maybe 8 or 9 cars, like you said, in that area between Stewart and Edgemore, especially with the crosswalks. It is tight. There's no doubt that it is tight, and worth looking at. At this point, I'd like to ask if there's any counselor questions, and I'll start with Counselor O'Hara.
No, I'm good. I've looked at it. I know the area quite well. I'm comfortable with the knowledge that we have and the historic knowledge that I have of the area and of the entire city. Thank you.
Excellent. Counselor Majoita.
Hello, I'm familiar with this area as well. I go to Niles Beach just because it's easy to drop the stuff off, and there you go, you're at the beach with the kids. And I drove down the street today. I guess you said it's 8 to 10 spots potentially of cars, no parking all year round. Would resident parking only be okay with a valid beach sticker or like a resident sticker? Would that something to just allow more parking spots for residents only?
That's a way that could happen. That would be more apprised to with the way you vote or what you think. It's something that can be asked or amended or talked about. So that's not out of the question at all. So we have the photo in front of us. We've listened to Councilor Memhard. We have a question from Councilor Majoita, and Councilor Harris spoke. This is one of those things where I am going to take some questions from the public. If anybody would like to ask a question, if they could raise their hand, and please limit it just to this one part. I saw that Kate was first. So Kate, if you could start with your name and your address, that would be excellent. And Joanne, you can pull this down. And can we get Kate?
Hello. Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, my name's Kate Andrews. I live in East Gloucester and I go to Niles Beach faithfully all summer long. The parking is a huge problem. We have so many non-residents parking in the resident parking only area. And I think by closing off any more parking, it would be a huge problem because Niles Beach is basically a mother's beach and an elderly beach. So you have the mothers that have to unpack with all the kids all the time, every day. And the elders with your umbrellas. Now that I'm old, I need an umbrella, and your beach chairs and stuff like that. So I really would like a lot of consideration from our counselors. And I mean, summer is such a short time. It's already so difficult to park over there. I would really appreciate reconsideration of this. I do go every day.
Excellent, Kate. Thank you very much. Can we move on to Mary Ann Boucher? I believe she was next.
Atta girl, Kate.
Hi, Sean. Thank you so
How you
much.
doing,
Mary
Mary
Ann Boucher, 93 Mount Pleasant Avenue, and I also own a home on the opposite end of Niles Beach at 75 Eastern Point Road. I am a frequent flyer to Niles Beach. I have been for 61 years. I wear the coordinates of Niles Beach around my neck. I worked with Paul McGarry. I worked directly side by side with him when this came to play 7 or 8 years ago, whenever Scott mentioned. It was vetted through the city council. It was, they found, the solution that they found was that by adding the parking on both sides, it was giving the residents, it was also giving a few non-residents the opportunity to walk the beach or maybe stop and take photos. We are supposed to be a tourist destination, and we are not even giving anyone the opportunity to jump out of their car for 5 minutes, take a photo. It was also determined at that time that speed was a factor. And by putting the parking on both sides, it slows the cars down. The other end of Farrington Avenue travels almost 50 miles an hour. And when the cars come up over that hill and they see cars parked on both sides, they slow down. That is a fact. I also know that there's engineering in the works for putting sidewalks in. I'd like to know if those sidewalks that are going to be extended, how far are they going to be extended? Are they going to be extended just to the end of Farrington where it meets Niles Beach or Eastern Point? Or will it be extended down the length of Niles Beach behind where all the parking spaces are? If it extends down to the end, what happens then? Is there going to be a crosswalk at that very sharp turn where I own a home? And if that's the case, that's going to be even more dangerous to the pedestrians that use the beach on a daily basis. I highly recommend that you keep the beach, the parking the way that it is. It's going to cause, you take this away, it's going to cause people to pull up further by St. Anthony's. It'll be a longer walk. It's going to cause people to park up on Eastern Point Road, Grapevine Road. They're going to find any space to park. If they can find it, they will. It's going to cause more police detail. That was another big issue that was talked about before. More police detail, cruising the other streets, towing, on and on and on. So I oppose taking away the parking spaces, and I think it helps keep the speed and the traffic at a minimum. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you,
By the
Mary
way,
Ann.
by the way, I also had the fortune of seeing that video today. Scott Memhard was very gracious and sent it through to me. And that was a big cater bus. I didn't see any other traffic besides a car pulled over with a blinker on, waiting for a parking space. Yes, a jogger came down the hill, but if you notice, it keeps speed at a minimum. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Next, if we go to Sue. And Sue, would you give us your name and your address for the record, please? Hi, Sue. How you doing tonight? You're on mute. You're on mute, Sue. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can, Sue. How are you doing tonight? If you give us your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Sue Muse, and I live at 22 Mount Vernon. I've been a resident of Gloucester my whole life, and I'm against changing any parking over on Farrington Avenue. I think there's limited spaces to begin with at Niles Beach, and I think we should keep it the way it is on both sides. If we have to limit it, I think you should make it parking for sticker parking only for city residents.
Excellent, Sue. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Laura Colburn. Laura, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can. I'm sorry, I get you down as Laura.
My name is Seth Hochbaum. I'm Laura Colburn's husband. And we
Right.
live at 4 Edgemore Road. And so we have a front row seat and see every day what is transpiring in the summer months. And I think just to try to frame the issue and put it in perspective, you have two competing interests. One is public safety, the ability of emergency vehicles to respond in the event of an emergency, when you have vehicles potentially parked on both sides of the street, and you have cars traveling up and down Farrington Ave in either direction, pitted against what I'll characterize as convenience, the ability to park a car to go to the beach. I would say that when you weigh these issues and look at them on balance, there's only one conclusion that can be reached, which is that the convenience of people to have to park a car to go to the beach pales in comparison to the real public safety issues that my wife and I see all the time, every day, every week, all months of the summer. And I would say, with respect to a couple of callers ago who was saying that the presence of parked cars on both sides of the street slowing traffic is false. We have firsthand knowledge. We see it. Vehicles are speeding with cars there. Those cars are not serving to deter speeding. Instead, what they're doing is serving as potential obstacles to emergency vehicles responding to an emergency. I would suggest that the video that was submitted to Councilor Memhard earlier today, and I believe shared with the others, accurately depicts what we see all the time. You've got vehicular traffic traveling, you've got tour buses, motorcycles, cyclists, joggers, people with their beach gear, and children in tow with no sidewalks. The safety risk is real and potentially dangerous and consequential. So I would ask the board to weigh these issues and reach the conclusion that I think must be reached, which is that a restriction on parking on the northbound side of Farrington Ave is not only prudent, but required. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll move on to Lainey Macon. Lainey, are you available?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can. If you just give your name and your address for record, please.
Yes, it's Lainey Macon and I live at 9 Farrington Avenue. I also have a front row seat to this, and I would say with utmost concern, it is a huge safety issue. I think back to a story that I was told when we first moved in, that beach parkers used to be able to park on Edgemore Road going up off of Farrington Avenue on both sides. And there was a medical emergency up there, and an ambulance could not get up there, and a child died. I don't think we want to have that happen again. The traffic is getting worse, and I with all respect to a caller that had said there was a traffic study or commission 8 years ago, I think the traffic has gotten a lot more volatile. There's a lot more traffic in the last 8 years since we've been there. And I see near traffic accidents every day in the summer. People open their car doors, children get out, someone coming the other way doesn't stop, buses are trying to get through. An accident is going to happen. And I just don't think the city of Gloucester wants to be responsible for that. And it would be so easy just to eradicate 8 or 9 spaces and make resident parking only. And if it has to go to a sticker, I firmly support that. So thank you.
Thank you. If we could bring in Pamela Steele, please. Pamela, can you hear us?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can, Pam. How you doing tonight? If you just give
Good,
me
how's everybody?
record.
I've been sitting here a long time to be able to give my feelings. I've been going to that beach for probably 75 years now.
And Pam, you live on Pilot Hill Road?
Yeah, I live on Pilot, so I go to Good Harbor and Niles Beach, and most of the people that go there when I go are elderly or families with children. I haven't seen any of the danger element because I would be the first one to change my mind if that was the case. I think we need to keep the parking on both sides. I think if you took a poll of most of the residents that use the beach, they're very responsible. They're reasonable people. They're not people that open their car doors indiscriminately. They're families with children. We really need to have our beaches for ourselves and a few people who like to come down. I don't think we should close it off at all. I would hope you would reconsider this motion. I've already asked Scott several times about it as well, and I think there are other people too. So thank you for the chance to express my opinion. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you, Pam. Next, can we bring in Peter Coakley, please?
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can, Peter. If you just give your full name and address for the record, please.
Sure. It's Peter Coakley. I live on the corner of Farrington and Eastern Point Boulevard, so it's 5 Farrington. But I want to thank you first. Thank you, Scott, and thank you to the board, no matter what you decide for your public service. I know you put a lot of time into this, and I really do appreciate it. I also, across the street from me on the corner of Stewart and Farrington is Vincent DeCesare. He's building that big house with the beautiful stone walls, and he's traveling, but wanted me to echo the same comments that I'm going to say. I've been there for 20 years, and things have really changed. I mean, I never would have complained 15 or 10 years ago, but Gloucester's been discovered, and what has happened is people from, you can't get into Good Harbor Beach or you can't get into other places. So they know now that you can come now and park on Farrington. And I do want to add, I think Scott said previously that hopefully you're going to have no parking from the church up, because right now they're all parking almost all the way to Atlantic, non-residents. I know they're non-residents because I live on the beach. I sit on the beach. I have 3 children, 7 grandchildren. We love the beach. I love Gloucester. I love Niles. But the people who are there, who come from way up the street, are only there because it's free and they can't get into any other beach. Previously, I lived on Nautilus Road, or I had a house on Nautilus Road, which is across the street from the footbridge to Good Harbor Beach. And same Good Harbor Beach, Wingachick Beach, Stephen Long Beach. There's not resident parking. There's no parking in the neighborhoods. You would be towed from the neighborhood. So it really, really is dangerous. The summer before COVID, my good friend, Dr. Robert Hughes, who lives in Gloucester, was riding his bike up Farrington in front of where the Macons live. Someone opened a car door. He fell off his bike. He broke his ribs. That punctured his lung. The ambulance came, and took him to Addison Gilbert. But I spoke to him a week ago, and he's still having problems with his lungs. It's really honestly out of control. Everything has been exponentially grown in Gloucester for traffic. I don't think you can say if you make it congested people will slow down, because they do not slow down, and motorcycles don't slow down. And it is a mother's beach, and I love the beach. And it is mostly children, or a lot of children and elderly and mothers. That's all the more reason to have some safety on this beach. If I could just paint one last picture, I wish I could show it to you. My grandson has a drone, and on a busy day, you will have cars coming down Eastern Point Boulevard beyond Niles Beach. Then they're dropping people off at the opening to Niles Beach. There are people trying to get into Eastern Point. The cars on both sides of Farrington have their doors open. So as people are coming from up Farrington with their beach gear and carriages and bicycles and whatever, they're banging into each other, walking and running down the street, and cars can't get through, never mind ambulances. It really, really is a problem. It's gotten out of hand, and I really hope that you can appreciate this. You know, in Eastern Point, the association just did a traffic study only of Audubon, you know, out at the breakwater. Audubon owns all that and has a parking lot. And we counted the cars for the past 12 months that went to Audubon, and it was 25,000 cars went into Audubon. Now, that's not counting the Yacht Club or Gonzaga or the Beauport Museum or the 100 houses and all those cars. So it's a traffic mess there on a busy summer day. And I really hope we can have resident-only parking all the way up on one side of the street to the church. But I do want to just add again, you have to remember past the church, and I think Scott told me this already, there should be no parking at all or a tow zone, because that's just pedestrians flocking down that street. And they're not residents. So thank you so much for your time. And I really appreciate what you're doing.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. The next call I have is Zoom user. I'm not quite sure who that is. If they could state their name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Steve Brown. I used to be the security chief at Eastern Point for 27 years, and I had a firsthand view of Farrington Ave and Eastern Point Boulevard. 27 years of running the gate at Eastern Point and helping people cross over to the beach. I went to the traffic meeting back a while ago and talked with Bob Ryan, and I can't say how serious and what a problem it is and how you're going to have an accident there. I'm surprised there hasn't been anyone killed there. I mean, Farrington Ave is a dangerous road. It's probably one of the busiest roads in the city. I would put it on a scale from 1 to 10, around an 8. Not talking about Stage 4, not talking about the Boulevard and Wingley Chic and Good Harbor, but it is so busy with traffic. And having cars on both sides, if you can look up Farrington Ave with cars on both sides, actually a car coming down or a car coming up is going up the middle of the road. And they're going fast. They're going very fast, because I've had to slow them down and ask them to slow down while little kids are trying to cross the street. I had suggested no parking on the north side going up and having parking on the other side of the street, the southern side, where they can have a sidewalk there where people can get out. They can put all the chairs, the kids and everything, and then walk down the street and then have a crosswalk that goes right out across to the beach. I just, you know, to the life of me, I can't understand why they haven't done this a long time ago. And yes, as Mr. Coakley said, the traffic has increased over the last 10, 12 years tremendously. People are coming to Niles Beach as an overflow beach. And it is a mothers and kids beach. That's all the more reason why we should take action, if you could, and shut down one side of the street and just have parking on the other side of the street. I've been working there for 27 years, so I can tell you this. There's a lot of parking in front of the beach. And if you use one side of Farrington Ave going all the way up, there's enough parking for a lot of people, especially mothers and kids that come to Niles Beach. And that's all I want to say on the matter. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to see if Bob Ryan would like to chime in from the Traffic Commission. I see Bob is still on the line.
Chairman Nolan, can you hear me?
I can, Bob. If you can just give us a little brief introduction to your study and how you went with the committee report on this.
Okay, well, Scott, Councilor Memhard approached us proposing the no parking on the northerly side from Eastern Point Boulevard all the way up to St. Louis Avenue. Again, for all the reasons just mentioned, safety reasons, caution, lack of sidewalks, all of those issues the Traffic Commission had looked at. The night of our meeting back on October 28th, we probably had 10, 11, 12 proponents for that order supporting it. We did not have any opposition at that time. No one person showed up, had any questions. Keep in mind, we have residential parking all along adjacent to the beach. We will have residential parking going up the hill on the southerly side. Keep in mind, from the church, from St. Anthony's, all the way to Atlantic Road on both sides is resident parking. Scott, you may want to confirm that as well, but that was passed back in the summer of 2021. The residents are asking for safety reasons and for caution, just to keep the parking on one side of the road. An alternative for safety reasons would be maybe not having residents only on that southerly side, opening it back up to people from out of town. But the whole idea is to open up one side of the road, make it safer for cars to travel, people to get out of their automobiles. And that was a good suggestion on the southerly side, putting in a sidewalk and a crosswalk at the foot of the hill and make it a much safer location. Again, we all know parking is a premium. And again, do we compromise safety for parking? That's something you have to decide. The Traffic Commission, again, without any opposition back on October 28th, no opposition, we concurred with the 10 or 12 people at the meeting, along with Councilor Memhard, to support the order on no parking. But again, weighing in, everybody talking tonight, I understand their point of view. It's a matter of taking 7 or 8 automobiles out of there and, not accommodating people from non-residents. That's all I have, Chairman Nolan.
Excellent. Thank you.
Does that help you? I mean,
it certainly gives us a brief overview of how the Traffic Commission ruled on this and the reasons why. And I thank you for your time.
Yeah. Again, that night, if we had opposition, that would have been taken into consideration. But again, we had no one to base it on. There was no baseline to consider. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob. Is there any other questions from Councilor O'Hara?
Just to clarify, the order has it going to St. Louis Ave. Is that correct? Because we've heard Edgemore.
You're on mute, Scott.
Oh, I am. Thank you. St. Louis is on the opposite side of the street, as you know. But that's what the Traffic Commission has used as a benchmark.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott. Councilor Majota.
No further questions. It was just good to hear what the other constituents had to say and what Mr. Ryan had to say as well.
All right. Excellent. So the next part of this may get a little bit more technical with the fact that, Frank, you weren't there. So if we amend or rescind would depend upon how you vote on this. Joanne, could you clarify exactly how that will work?
Okay, so there's no need to rescind the vote if you are going to put this forward back up to city council and leave as is. Okay, so if you wanted to rescind the whole vote and vote it with totally different language, that's when you were to rescind it. But you won't have a recommendation from the traffic commission. So if you were going to bring this back up to the public hearing, it would be the vote that was taken back in November 1st, 2021.
All right, excellent for the clarification.
Councilor Grow has had his hand up.
I can't see his hand.
Yes. So he has had his hand up for a while.
Not a problem. Councilor Grow.
My arm is so tired. Wow.
I'm sorry, I can't see your hand. It's weird.
Well, it was up there just waving around. Anyway, just a couple quick questions. One, do we have a report from public safety regarding a history of accidents or incidents in that area? And if so, what's the answer on that? And two, how do we anticipate enforcement in that situation? I have a feeling that enforcement's going to be one of those really tricky situations, and that we're going to have a lot of towing and a lot of ticketing that is more than likely going to be affecting residents. So I'm just curious how we're going to manage enforcement of there. That's all I got for tonight.
Excellent, thank you. And I do see your hand now because I was on attendees, not panelist. Sorry about that. I think that the enforcement issue and the accident issue, I don't think there's been a tremendous amount of accidents or any reported at all that we've heard of. I think that we can ask some enforcement issues and maybe find some information for the public hearing on this. That being said, we've definitely have been working on this for a while. I think everybody has gotten their information the best we can through the subcommittee. And I think that our best situation here is to read the motion as written and vote and send it to council. And we have some lifting to do at council. More or less, this is a citywide type situation that involves a popular street in a Ward 1, but there's definitely a lot of public input, and I'd like to make sure that we end up hearing from that. Before we read the motion, I do see that Tony Gross is raising his hand as well. Tony, would you like to speak?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. I keep hearing about 6 or 7 cars. I just did on the map geo, it's 650 feet. So I just wanted that to be, made clear that it's not just, a few cars, parking space that you're talking about. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. Without any objection from the committee, if we could have the report.
Certainly. City Council recommend that the Ordinance Administration recommends the City Council amend GCO Chapter 22, Section 22-270, parking prohibited at all times, and Section 22-291, tollway zones, by adding Farrington Ave northerly side from its intersection with Eastern Point Boulevard in an easterly direction to its intersection with St. Louis Ave. And I so move.
Frank?
Second.
Excellent. And this will be our roll call, and we'll start with Councilor O'Hara.
May I make a comment?
Yes,
Before
you
I
can.
put my vote. I've looked at all the letters. I saw the video, which was very clear. This whole issue exists all over the city, unfortunately. It's not only special to Farrington Ave and Niles Beach, Lanesville, Riverdale, Magnolia, West Gloucester, Indiana Core, Prospect Street, to name a few. And I'm really concerned. Gloucester, as has been said tonight, Gloucester's been discovered. It's been discovered since COVID, even more so. The prior administration was very, I think, very cordial in opening up the city. So many people were locked down. Our beaches were open. Our neighbors to the south, Manchester, their beaches were closed down. They wouldn't allow anyone on the beach. If you were on the beach, you had to wear a mask. I just think that we're going down a rabbit hole here. And I'm not saying, I'm not discounting safety. Safety is paramount, but this exists every place. You go on Roger Street every day in front of Cape Ann Savings Bank, and people passing back and forth. It's a serious issue, but I think I think this isn't unique to any other spot in our beautiful city. And in the summertime, our population obviously increases tremendously, doubles, if not more so, on a weekend. So many people enjoy our beautiful, beautiful city. We have the luxury of enjoying it for 12 months a year. The visitors that bring revenue into our city, they come typically for less than 3 months. We all endure it. I do. The traffic, I don't personally like it. I get caught up in it. But again, it means so much to the businesses of Gloucester, the tax base of Gloucester. Some of us, I think, probably that spoke tonight are new to Gloucester. You came here for a reason. And these visitors that come to our city, they come for the same reason. They find the beauty, and they come and they go. And I'm not saying that they're all cordial, that they're all neat, because some of them aren't. I've heard all the bad negatives: trash, defecating, changing their clothes. That's not anything that anyone wants to see. That comes with enforcement. We may need to step up enforcement in that area. We need to step up a lot of enforcement. Speeding is a real issue, and it's a real issue on Farrington Ave. I've dealt with it with Councilor Memhard and the police department. So I'm extremely concerned that we're going down a rabbit hole that will open up to virtually every street in our city. So with that, I'm very much in favor of bringing this to a full public hearing, that everyone can speak their piece, and the council takes a vote. But at this point now, there's additional knowledge that we can gain through the police department, but I can't support this tonight. Thank you.
Councilor Hara. So that's a no vote.
That's correct.
Majota.
So just to piggyback on Mr. Hara, so if vote yes means that we'll bring up to council anyway, but with my 3 kids, and there's no parking right by the beach, if I'm unable to park there at those 8 to 9 spots, I would have to go further up the road to now, bring my kids to the beach. And I feel like it's not as safe because I'm walking further distance. And I would love to get more information about this, whether it's by putting up maybe another traffic signs, a speed radar or something so people can know the speed limit more. As going down Manchester, you know, speed limit is 20 miles an hour, adjusting the speed limit or something more to just not have parking there. So my vote is also no.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Majota. For myself, I want to bring this full to council. I also have concerns about the amount of areas in town that are the same, if not worse. I'd like to find other solutions and add more to this argument. I will too also vote no on this at this point and bring it to full city council for us to further review and come up with the best decision for the entire city. So the vote on O&A is 0 in favor, 3 opposed to send it to the city council for full recommendation.
You have to do a roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call. Councilor O'Hara.
No.
Councilor Majota.
No.
Councilor Nolan. No.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I thought I was doing a roll call vote in the beginning, then we got into the conversation, so I'm sorry. All right, so next on the agenda is gonna be.
Can I just mention that the public hearing will be back up on Tuesday, December 8th? Just one.
December 8th.
I'm sorry, February 8th. I am very sorry. It's been a long day. On February 8th. Yes, on February 8th.
Excellent, thank you. So next we have CC 2122, who's Councilor O'Hara, Councilor Pett, and it was to amend the GCO, Chapter 22, Section 22-289, parking meter zones on street, Section 22-284, service or loading zones in Section 22-270.1, resident sticker parking only regarding 67 Middle Street. And Councilor Pett is not with us. Councilor O'Hara, the floor is yours.
Certainly. This is, as noted, the Community Impact Unit, which is a part of the Gloucester Police Department. They're in 67 Middle Street, the building to the, looking at the old Y to the right. They would like to have 2 spaces dedicated to be available for visitors to park between the hours of 7 and 4 p.m. And after the 4 p.m. hour, it would return to open parking. And this would be used by, again, citizens that needed to go in to speak to the Gloucester Police Community Impact Unit at 67 Middle Street.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there any questions? Frank, do you have any questions?
As of now, I do not. I'm just Google mapping it and getting a visual of where it is, but no questions.
Excellent. So there's actually 3 total motions on this. The way I read it, it's mostly verbiage to take away some parking metered spots to put in for parking for the community impact unit, the old YMCA, which is going to be really necessary. And it's a great city department that we have. Do we need to, can we read all 3 at once and vote, Joanne, or would you like, or do we need to read one by one and vote?
Well, you might want to mention that part of the order did not pass, was not recommended by the Traffic Commission. The resident sticker parking was not recommended by the Traffic Commission.
All righty. So at this point, I see Bob Ryan does have his hand up. If Bob Ryan would like to comment.
Okay.
We reviewed this the other at the meeting on the 27th. And there, as you know, there are 3 parts to it. We agree with rescinding the old loading, unloading, proposing new loading and unloading for the community impact for 2 spaces. It's like 40 feet from the corner of Center Street on Middle Street, easterly direction, for a distance of 40 feet for 2 spaces. And the only problem we had was with the second part of the signage. We're going to have community impact parking from 7 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Then they wanted to put residence parking from 4 in the afternoon to 7 a.m. We didn't think that was necessary because there'll be residents parking there anyway. You know what I'm saying? If we say we're going to cut out pieces on a street for resident sticker parking, that will open up Pandora's box for the whole city. Everyone's going to say, listen, we want 2 sections here, 4 over here. So we just felt it wasn't necessary. And Lieutenant Jeremiah Nicastro concurred with us, who proposed the order or the request for the ordinance. And he agreed. We really don't need resident sticker parking for those 2 spots. It's open to the public after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Drop-in center, like we said, from 7 in the morning until 4. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Councilor O'Hara, this was drafted through you and Councilor Pat. So do you want to amend to remove the resident end of that on the motion?
You know, can I just interrupt?
Go ahead, Joanne.
You don't need to do that to amend it, to remove that part of the motion. You could just read the 3 motions and just do one roll call. If you don't have a motion for the resident sticker parking, then after that is not included in the ordinance.
Excellent, because I think in the motions, I don't see a resident sticker.
No. No, so Councilor O'Hara can read the 3 motions plus the signage to read, and you can take one vote on all the amendments.
Excellent, perfect. So do we have motion?
Ordinance Administration recommended to the City Council amend GCO Chapter 22 Traffic and Motor Vehicles Section 22-289 Parking Meter Zones on Street by deleting Middle Street 210 parking meters in front of the YMCA. Amend Chapter 22 Traffic and Motor Vehicles Section 22-284 Service or Loading Zones by deleting Middle Street southerly side at a point 34 feet from the easterly sideline of Center Street at its intersection with Middle Street and running a distance of 44 feet. Amend Chapter 22 Traffic and Motor Vehicles Section 22-284 Service or Loading Zones by adding Middle Street southerly side beginning at a point 40 feet from the intersection with Center Street in the easterly direction for a distance of 40 feet, 2 spaces. Signage to read, Community Impact Unit, parking only 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I so move.
Second.
Excellent. So this is a roll call vote. Councilor O'Hara.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Nolan, yes. So it passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you.
This will be advertised for public hearing for February 22nd. Council
Excellent.
meeting.
Thank you, Joanne. So next we have item number 5, CC 2022-003 O'Hara. Amend GCO Chapter 21 Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Section 21-19, Removal of Snow from Sidewalks, and Section 21-20, Removal of Covering of Ice from Sidewalks by adding homeowners above the age of 60 years old shall be exempt. Counselor O'Hara, the floor is yours.
Thank you. This I brought forward. I've been an advocate over the years as being on the council that I honestly don't think that we should hold the public responsible. My timing on this was extremely good. I think the storm just defines. We have snowbanks out there. I don't think I'm exaggerating. Some of the snowbanks on these sidewalks are 4 feet. Some are even greater. If people have a snow shovel, they're going to be digging out till it melts to comply. And, you know, that this strictly relates to people over the age of 60. As I've received calls over my tenure from seniors who we have an ordinance, it's enforceable. It has been enforced. They've received letters. You know, it's unfortunate, but I've spoken to some of these people, and not to use an age, but a lot of these people are home. They're law-abiding citizens. They know that this ordinance is on the books. They worry. They worry all year long. They worried about the storm coming, the January 7th storm. It's coming. How am I going to conform to the ordinance? I just think that, you know, the sidewalks belong to the city. The city constructs them, city maintains them. And I think at least we need to rescind this for the 60-year-olds so that people over the age of 60, so that they don't have to worry. In the times of COVID, employees are an absolute premium. They don't exist for one reason or another. I won't get into why they don't exist, but they don't exist. Contractors can't find people to remove snow. So these same constituents have called around to the various contracting companies, whether it's landscaping, construction, and they won't take on a job. The ones, unfortunately, supply and demand. I have a personal experience of a vendor who I would consider price gouged on the January 7th storm. And I don't think it's fair, reasonable for us to expose people over the age of 60. Most of them are on fixed incomes. They don't have the opportunity to go out and work extra to figure out how to pay a potential contractor who, if they can find them, may, and I'm not saying all of them, but some of them may charge what's considered an excessive amount to remove that snow. But this storm that just concluded, you know, you would need earth moving equipment to remove some of that snow to conform to the ordinance. So with that said, this is why I brought it forward. Thank you.
Council Majota, do you have anything you'd like to add to this conversation?
So with this, if you're over 60, no matter what sidewalk you're on, I guess you don't have to shovel it. Would that be an issue for students going to school or people who jog or do anything in the winter time? Would that be a safety issue?
To answer that question, just my knowledge, I think we're living that right now. If you go and walk the streets of our city, most of that snow is not removed anyways. Because well, you know, whether a person's over 60, most people don't have the equipment to remove that snow. So it will sit there until either the city moves that snow or it melts. So I think we can all drive around and see what's happening. It's an unfortunate, you know, we live in New England, we live in Gloucester. We pick up these storms every now and then. We pick up snow, obviously, every winter. We've been very fortunate, excluding the January 7th and the storm of this past weekend. But again, I think we as a city of the prior administration I met with the mayor to discuss this. We had a storm the end of March. 3 or 4 inches was predicted. 14 inches later, when the storm ended, no one removed any snow. They were snowed out. They were ready for summer. And this is why we can't depend on the public. People are just too busy today, whether working, whatever reason, people don't, unfortunately, showing my age, but when I was a child, we'd be begging for these storms. We'd be out shoveling sun up till sundown and beyond. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist today, and it's an unforeseen or an issue which we as a city have to look in the eyes and address. And whether we're going to allow the snow to sit there or we're going to get the equipment and remove it ourselves. It's done in some areas of Gloucester. They're out there moving it now. Other cities in town, Manchester, Rockport, they remove it. That's beyond my purview. And but this strictly addresses above 60.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor O'Hara.
Councilor Nolan, there is Mike Mulcahy's hand up. Are you going to take public comment on this matter?
I will definitely take public comment from Mike Mulcahy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to bring up, I understand what Councilor O'Hara is saying on this. Neighborhood I live in, 9 Bertoni Road. The plow that came through ours made one path, okay, the width of a blade. I would, if it wasn't that I didn't have a snow blower, cutting out 6 feet just to get out of my driveway. There's no other, and the plow didn't come back through at all. So I understand the amount of snow that people have to move. And if the plows aren't going to get closer to the sidewalks, it makes it even harder, for residents. And there are residents, quite a few of them that live in my area that are over 60, right? And it's a lot of snow. If Councilor Maggiotto would like to come down and take a look, it's still there. It's a lot. I do agree that, people over 60, it gets kind of tough, but 3 of us in our neighborhood have snow blowers. So it made it a little easier, but I still got huge snow banks in front of my house. And I only cleared part of my sidewalk. So I just want to put that out there, that sometimes the plow drivers that are working for the city didn't do the job they were supposed to do.
All right. Thank you, Mike. There's a lot of interest in this. I spoke with the mayor's office, and they definitely want to chime in and work on a solution for this. I think that if we can get some more information together, no matter what we do, without an emergency order, we can't change anything during this winter, the 30 days notice and so on and so forth. It's going to bring us into April before we can move on this. What I'd like to do is I'd like to bring this back for our next O&A meeting and have some overview from the administration on their concerns and what we do. I definitely think that it's an overwhelming situation to look at a sidewalk right now. I wouldn't care if you're 25 years old. If your road was plowed curb to curb, you probably had 6-7 feet of snow, maybe 5 feet, depending on where you live and what happened. And that's a lot of work. We heard from a person 2 years ago, lived on Eastern Avenue, and they had a heart attack while doing snow removal. It's a serious thing. We need to look at it. I do believe it's a good idea to start with at least the 60 plus. I would support that. But I think I'd like to bring this back for the next O&A and hear from the administration on their end of it, because they do have an interest in this as well. Councilor Maggiotto, I did see you raise your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback too. During the past storm, I'm fortunate enough to live about a 5-minute walk to my parents' house, and both my parents are over 60. And I did have to help them shovel out their driveway and attempt the sidewalk. But at that particular point, I mean, you're talking, you're talking about 2 feet of snow with shovels, and my dad, who's pushing 70, it was a lot of work. I'm very fortunate to be able to help him out, and we just called it a day because it was a lot of snow. So I just wanted to say, like, I understand being 60, it is difficult to shovel that amount of snow, or any age.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there any objections from the committee to bring this back in 2 weeks?
No.
Nope.
Right. I see that our CAO has her hand up. Jill, how you doing tonight?
Hi, thank you. I just want to say, yes, thank you for giving us the opportunity to weigh in. As the chairman said, there's a lot that goes into actually putting an order like this into effect on the streets and what it actually looks like. So we have lots of questions that we need answers to. One is, how do you know if the resident's 60? How do you know if the property owner's 60? If it's a rental property, who's required? It's enforcing an order like this is difficult, but we agree with the sentiment. We understand the sentiment. I think anyone, like you said, understands it. I know for a fact we have, Mike, just having people enough to work on the parts of the sidewalks that we are able to do is a challenge this year. So we're happy to dig our hands into it and start to take a look at it and see what we can do. Like I said, the sentiment, we're there with you in spirit. Making it turn into action is a different job, and that's our job. So we'll take a look at it, and we'll come back to you in a couple of weeks with some information.
Excellent, Jill. Thank you. I'm glad you made it through the storm. The kids looked happy in the background leaving earlier. So Joanne, if you could put this on for the next O&A.
Yes, on February 14th.
Excellent. It's going to be a nice long Valentine's Day, so I hope you guys got your girl something. So with that being said, I believe that ends our night, and if we could get a motion to adjourn.
Can you continue the civility resolution?
Oh, I didn't see that on my paperwork. I'm sorry.
Matters to be continued?
Yes, we're definitely going to continue that.
Okay, so you can just mention that it's referred back.
Yep. Trying to find it right now. Yep, the City Council Civility Resolution, we're going to refer it back to O&A and Human Rights Commission to be continued to 2/14/22.
Okay, and then you can just do a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I believe that's it. And I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And this will be by roll call. Council O'Hara?
Yes.
Council Majoita?
Yes.
Council Nolan, yes. The motion passes to adjourn. Everybody have a great night, and thank you all for attending.